Hey guys, 7March26 here, and welcome to my debut race here in AOR. So this is Season 11, Xbox One, and I'm in the GP2 league because I used the racing line, so therefore I was not eligible to race in the F1 league. So coming to start our qualifying lap now. This is Australia, as you can obviously see, and it's one of my preferred tracks, so we'll be hoping for a good result here and potentially a podium. So starting the lap now, coming down into turn 1, you want to go down into 4th gear, but I choose to go down into 3rd there, so that could have compromised our speed a little bit, but hopefully it won't affect the lap too much. Coming down into turn 3, we're going to break down into 2nd gear here. We've locked up a touch, but we still managed to take reasonable speed through the corner, shifting up into 4th and then back down to 3rd for turn 4 as we come towards the turn 5, as we've got a Williams ahead of us who I think is backed out. He's probably got a corner cut. Coming towards the end of the first sector, I think that's a 28.7, so that's a reasonable time. We've been doing a few 28.5s in practice though, so still a couple of tenths to come off that potentially as we come down towards turn 9 now. Breaking down into 2nd here, clipping that curb. You don't want to take too much curb because that sausage curb can chuck your car up into the air. Bit of wheel spin on the exit, but not too bad as we come towards the end of sector 2 and the turn 11 and 12 chicane. Shifting down into 5th here and turning in. We've turned in a bit too early and we have to correct that, so that's cost us a tenth or two there. Not ideal, but still managing to carry reasonable speed and not cutting the corner. Turn 13 now, 3rd gear, clipping the apex. Use the exit curb but don't extend. Turn 14 down to 4th gear as you want to clip the exit curb once again but not extend. 2nd gear for turn 15 now, clipping that curb nicely. Get on the power but don't spin up the rears too much. Same through turn 16, 4th, 5th, opening DRS now for the run to the line, as it's going to be a 1 minute 25.2, which puts us on provisional pole as we're now on a faster lap, but we've run slightly off track and got a deserved invalidation there, so that was unfortunate because we could have gone faster. But as you can see, we've taken pole ahead of the Mighty Midget, Pro Big C, the Genius in 4th and Orange Tiger in 5th, and a couple of tenths ahead of the Ferrari duo behind us. So then, on the grid, looking at the race strategy, and it's suggesting option prime. So I think we're going to go for primes before the last option stint and then run options to the end. But we'll see what we do as the lights are about to come on for my first race here in AOR. We've got Midget and Pro Big C behind us, and it's lights out and away we go. We've got a reasonable start there, but I think Midget has got a slightly better start as he pulls alongside now. Coming down to turn 1, he's grabbed the lead there, but we're going to try and outbrake it around the outside. We've run a bit wide and that's cost us time. He pulls back alongside, but we appear to have got the position. And Orange Tiger NL has come out of nowhere. He started 5th and he's now up into 2nd as we head down towards turn 3 here on lap 1. We get it stopped nicely and have maintained our lead as we come through turn 4 now. I'm running a bit wide there and getting a warning, but we want to try and minimise those throughout the race, as Midget has now appeared to get back past Orange Tiger, and the gap at the end of the first sector is 1 second, so that's a good start for us. Hopefully we can maintain that and keep him out of the DRS window when it gets to lap 3. We come towards turn 9 now, just trying to keep it calm, keep it cool, avoid spinning up the rears, avoid the lockups, because tyre management is key, especially in this first stint, because if you run a short first stint, that could really cost you at the end of the race. So we don't want to be locking up anywhere, spinning up the rears, or even having a spin with anyone. Definitely not losing our wing at this stage of the race, so keep it smooth and don't try and do anything stupid this early on in the race. But we've got it all under control at the moment. We're leading the pack. This is an experience that I haven't really felt much in league racing, so we'll see how I handle it now as we come towards the end of the lap, and we're going to see what the gap is to Midget, as we haven't taken a great line through the final corner there. It's coming down the pit straight now, putting it up into Rich, and the gap is, as we set the fastest lap obviously, but the gap is 7 tenths, so he's closed us down a bit in the last 2 sectors, but that's alright as we come to the end of lap 2, fastest lap again, and the gap is now 1.3, so we appear to have got that gap up above the 1 second mark, and hopefully he can't close back onto that. End of lap 3 now, as we can see what the gap is now. and it's 1.9, but Pro Bigsy in third has set the fastest lap, beating my best by 2/10. So he's closing down Midget, and at the end of lap 5, Midget comes in for a very early stop, and Bigsy takes second. So the gap to Bigsy now is 4.7, so we appear to be maintaining a good pace. Midget has gone for a 2-lap undercut, and at the end of the next lap, Bigsy is coming for a 1-lap undercut. So we have to push here on lap 7. Don't do anything stupid though, because that will definitely cost us the position, but push as much as the tyres will allow so we can maintain the lead, as the Genius is now behind us, who's also stayed out to lap 7, but we have a 14-second gap to him, so no issues there. We have a good lead at the moment. So coming into the pits then at the end of the lap, slowing it down, putting on the limiter now. So this will be our second option stint, and we'll aim to take this set of options 8 laps to lap 15, looking at the race director. And as you can see, there's a lot already. I don't think I get time to scroll through them. I think I've had 4 warnings at this stage in the race. As you can see, we have to go off the warnings there. So coming out of the pit lane, where will we be in relation to Midget? As we spin up the rears a bit, Midget has come through now. He sets the fastest lap of a 26.8. And the gap says 7.2, but obviously he will have gained time because I was in the pit exit. So what's the actual gap as we come to the end of lap 8 now? It's actually 1.3, so that's still a reasonable gap outside DRS. The undercut has gained him a bit of time, but now he's going to be on worn tyre as we come to the end of lap 9, setting the fastest lap ourselves of a 26.6. So that's a good lap there, as the gap is now above 2 seconds. And coming to the end of lap 12, Midget has pit again, so another short stint on the options for him, as Bigsy is now behind us. So we'll have to see how effective Midget's undercut is this lap time, and we'll see what the gap is to Bigsy. We've got a comfortable gap of 10 seconds at the moment, so Midget is probably our main rival as we at this stage of the race. At the end of lap 15, which is our pit stop lap, the gap is up to 17.1, and that is because Bigsy was indeed on the primes for that stint, so that's why we were so much faster as we come into the pit lane now for our second stop of the race, this time for a set of prime tyres. I think Midget has also gone on for a set of prime tyres for this stint, so that means Bigsy will have the tyre advantage over both of us as we're checking the race director. Midget is indeed on the prime tyres, so that means Midget and I will be on primes, but Bigsy, who's already run his prime stint, can now go on options to the end, so he has the advantage in this stint. Let's see if he can make it count as we exit the pit. Now what's the gap to Midget now? And he hasn't crossed the line yet, so I think we've got a healthy lead at the moment, which is good to hear. So it shows that Midget's undercut wasn't too effective, but Midget is now ahead of Bigsy. So as we come to the end of lap 18, the gap to Midget has now been built up a bit by me, as it's above 5 seconds as we're coming to lap a car. I think that's about 8 seconds right there. And as you can see, there's a car ahead. That's Daz 190, who has lost his wing, so he's going to be a bit slow, and we want to try and get past him as quickly as possible and not compromise our race as we come through there. He's going wide, so we take that inside. Bit of contact there, so that was a bit of a scare, and we've lost a second in the first sector on our personal best from that, so we'll see if Midget has been able to catch us due to that, but I don't think it affected us too much, as the gap remains about the same at 8.1 seconds. So coming to the end of lap 21, the gap is up to 11 seconds, and this is my pit stop lap for my third and final stop for a set of options which will take me to the end of the race. So coming in now, don't crash in the pit entry, we don't want to do that, so taking that nice and smoothly, slowing down once again for the limiter. I'm not sure which Ferrari will be coming in this lap. It will definitely be one of them. I suspect it'll be Midget, because he's been on those prime tyres for 9 laps now, so that's a reasonable length of time, as someone's got disqualified there, Sean Conway. So obviously the strict rules are in force for this league as Bigsy goes past us, so that's going to be a bit difficult, especially around this track, famous for corner cutting and track extending. So we've come out of the pits in second, as Midget did indeed pit on that lap, so we're going to have to try and, well, we don't really need to hunt down Bigsy whatsoever, because I suspect he'll come into the pits at the end of this lap, if not the next lap, but we'll see if we can catch him before he comes into the pits. I highly doubt it, as he's about 3 or 4 seconds ahead, but we might as well try. Coming through turn 4 now, our tyres are nicely up to temperature, and we've saved quite a bit of fuel for this final stint, so that will give us a chance to run rich and go for fastest lap. As you can see, coming through the end of the first sector now, using standard through this corner towards turn 9. And he's got a lot of confidence on these tyres already, good grip, low fuel, as you can see, taking a lot of speed through that corner. So rapidly closing down Bigsy at this stage, who is on, this will be his 7th lap on those option tyres. So they're not too worn, but you want to be getting off them around now, because 8 laps is pretty much the max that you can do without them being extremely slow. So coming into turn 13 towards the end of the lap, and we can see Big C, so that just shows how much quicker we are on these new tyres compared to his old tyres. So I expect he'll duck into the pits at the end of this lap, which he indeed does. So that leaves us to retain the lead for this lap, and hopefully if nothing goes wrong to the end of the race. So I just had to keep it cool at this stage, don't mess anything up, don't crash out, don't hit a back marker. And talking of back markers, we've come up on lap 26 here to one of those. So I think that's Corbs in the Toro Rosso, as yes it is, he gets out of the way nicely. So thank you to Corbs if you are watching this video, which I highly doubt. And now on lap 28 there's another back marker in the Williams, it's Scott, and he also gets nicely out of the way as we come towards the end of sector 2. Midget a reasonable distance behind us, but now the final lap. It's been my first AOR race. We got pole position, the race win, and we've got fastest lap at the moment. We've also led every single lap, so I couldn't really have asked for more on my debut here in AOR. We've got a 15-second plus lead over Midget, with Big C not too far behind in third. So a very good outing here for me in my first race at AOR, as we come across the line to win the Australian Grand Prix. So yeah, as I said there, incredible race for me. Throughout the race I got 6 warnings to the strict corner cuts, all were deserved, but good to see that it is definitely possible to drive without getting a penalty. As you see myself, Marcus Ericsson, celebrating on the podium along with the Ferrari duo, as previously mentioned, the Mighty Midget and Pro Big C. So we'll have a look at the results in a minute and we'll see where everyone else finished. Unfortunately there were a lot of disqualifications due to people not practicing, realising how difficult the strict rules were. But as you can see now, looking at the results, you can see I won ahead of Midget and Big C in third, the Genius in fourth with his teammate Matt, something or other, lots of numbers there, in fifth, Scott in sixth and Corbs in seventh. Me, the Genius and Matt not getting any penalties, so proving it was possible for the 6 or so drivers who got disqualified. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my first race here in AOR. I'll see you next time in Malaysia. Goodbye.